welcome to the Fayette County School Corporation Board of School Trustees Business Meeting for Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. If everyone will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a motion is needed to approve the agenda as submitted and amended, please.
I so move.
Thank you, Ann. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Patron comments on agenda items. Do we have any, Cindy? Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. Approval of minutes from regular business meeting of 1/6/18. Personnel report, retirements, resignations, leaves of absence, and etc. Approval of January 2018 claims number 48818 through number 49036. Annual list of outstanding checks more than 2 years old. And a donation of $900 in memory of Joe Connell for WCC graphic design and precision machinery. And that is for your consideration, board.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Thank you, Warren. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ann. Is there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by raising your right arm. Those opposed? Seeing none, we'll move on to the action items. Personnel report. Recommendations for employment. Mr. Serqua.
Thank you. I have a couple of recommendations for employment. First of all, classified staff, Lori Hardy, educational assistant at Maplewood, and Megan Profit, aftercare caregiver at Everton. And then extracurricular-wise, we have James Huber, head boys golf coach.
Mike, is that JJ?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. He's back.
Good.
That's good.
That's good.
Okay. We need a motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mark. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Andy. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Recommendation for bus purchase, Mr. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Wood, Board. We have our Director of Transportation, Katrina Falk, here, and I'm going to call her up to the podium and let her share a little bit of information. She knows more about buses than all of us combined, I'm confident. So I just want to acknowledge Katrina, the work she's done, the research. I've learned a lot about buses, and she's educated me on a lot of things that I didn't know. So Katrina, we'll go ahead and let you share about our purchase for 18.
Sure. In your board packets, I put a quick summary detailing what my recommendation was going to be for our bus purchase this year. This year, I have named a different vendor than we have been using in the past, that being Curlin Bus Sales with Thomas Built Buses. And the reason for doing that is, coming into this, I understood that we have a broad set of goals for our transportation department moving forward, and technology, telematics, the buses themselves, they all need to pair seamlessly together so we can reach our end goal. Thomas, they fit flawlessly into our long-term plan for our transportation department. Their onboard telematics, which would be the GPS, it pairs seamlessly with the TransFinder software we have purchased for our routing software. It pairs seamlessly with the parent app we're looking at purchasing so parents can track the students in the buses. The equipment that they offer, many more standard options for our overall cost, lowest bid, more standard options, more creature comfort options for our drivers. Overall, it's just a better package. Serviceability-wise, we can become a certified Thomas Built Buses service center within our own garage. They have a program called CPWA, which is Customer Preferred Warranty Agreement, where we can be reimbursed to perform our own warranty work. We'll have less downtime. We won't have to constantly shuttle buses to an outside vendor to have work performed. And if we do have to get to that point, Greens Fork Alignment, who we already do business with, is an authorized Thomas Service Center. So is Student Transit in Richmond. So we have a lot of options as far as serviceability with many of the vendors we're currently utilizing already. Our dealer support from Curlin has been outstanding, even though we have not been a regular customer of theirs since 2005. Their outside sales representative calls on us every other Monday. So, a lot of factors to consider, but after looking at this since migrating over to Fayette County in June, I really truly believe that making this transition now is going to benefit us instead of buying what we always have, because if we buy what we always have, we're going to get what we've always got, which is going to keep us in the same place.
Katrina, even though we're gonna be able to do our own warranty work, are the warranties comparable, the same, better?
They are exactly the same. We'll get the same coverage that we did from International, and actually the warranty prices from Thomas are more competitive than what we were getting through International, so there is a little bit of a cost savings there.
Okay, good.
Any other questions with Katrina? Yeah, she can answer them. Excited about getting one of our Spartan Expresses for our students, for all students to use them. We're still working on design on that even today, so really excited about this and still coming in well under budget, and that's fun too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katrina. Okay, we're ready.
Lori, I'll
for
make that motion to accept the bus bids.
Thank you, Mark.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ann. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Moving on to the Approval Education Hall of Fame Selection Committee, Mr. Collins.
Thank you, Ms. Savoy. Board Policy 3.51 states that the school board shall establish a committee of 5 persons. The superintendent of schools will make appointments to this committee as deemed necessary. And tonight I'm asking that you affirm my appointment of parent Jacob Gross, patron Gertrude Whitaker, teacher Sharon Reese for 2-year terms. And these individuals will be joined by board member Mark Beard and myself on the Hall of Fame Selection Committee. I ask for your approval for that committee.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Need a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Ann. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Warren. Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to the permission to advertise for the 2018 summer projects. Mrs. Tollett.
Thank you, Mrs. Savoy. We're all hopeful summer will be here soon. So this evening, we're asking for permission to seek bids on window replacement at Everton, small chiller replacement of 2 units at Fayette Central, water main replacement at Eastview and Frazee, boiler replacements at Eastview, Frazee, Maplewood, and Grandview, and ceiling projects at Connersville High School, Fayette Central, and the administration. We're asking for requests for proposals for generators installation and a fence closure alternate for Connersville High School, Frazee, Grandview, Maplewood, electrical panel upgrade at Eastview, electrical service upgrade at Connersville High School, and process water pumps at Connersville High School. So we're hoping it's going to be a very busy summer here. This evening, Mr. Brian Hensley is here. He's our Director of Maintenance. If you have any project-specific questions, he's happy to answer those. Finance questions, I'll field. So
Jane, that does include the walking track at the high school, right?
it does.
Okay. That's used a lot. I'm out there a lot.
The walking track and then the horseshoe drive
Right.
this year.
It is used quite a bit, even
Yes.
Sunday mornings, evenings.
Is there any questions or
It
discussion?
seems like we have a lot of projects this summer, more so that are than usual? Is it just as a result of some things not being kept up, or is it fresh eyes looking at some of
Well,
the
it's a
roads?
result of capital projects, which is our normal operations. However, if you recall, we issued those bonds,
Okay,
and so that's driving a lot of this
Okay.
summer.
okay.
So,
We have the money, so we're gonna get them done.
yes.
Good.
And I will share with you, one of the projects that was under consideration was a potential water line to Fayette Central. That's just not feasible.
No.
After investigation by Mr. Hensley, and he can speak to the specifics, but there are so many obstacles with that, we've determined that the school can't take that on. However, there were about $2.4 million worth of identified potential projects, and the bond issue resulted in about $1,950,000 after bond issue costs available for projects, so we knew we would not be able to complete everything anyhow. So on down the agenda, we have added to the scope of the middle school for your consideration. So some of those monies from the water line will be diverted to the middle school. We hope to be bringing you in the future, well, it may not rise to the level of board consideration being needed for an additional well to be drilled at Fayette Central to give us that safety net, if you will, for the water supply that we have out there. While it's not ideal, the project to try and get city water out there is just not feasible at this point in time. So,
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're ready for a motion for permission to advertise for the 2018 summer projects.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Andy. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mark. All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Those opposed? Seeing none, we will move on. Recommendation of guaranteed energy savings contract with Performance Services for CMA projects. Mrs. Tolla, please.
thank you, Mrs. Savoy. As indicated in the memo, last fall, we entered into energy savings assessment agreement with Performance Services. So what they did is they went through the middle school, and that was for the chillers. However, since that time, we experienced a lot of trouble with our boilers in addition to the chillers. So we requested they bid the project with the chillers and the boilers separate, so we could just decide if we wished to pursue a replacement of the boilers at the same time while they were going to be on site working. So considering that we have 3 phases for your consideration: the chillers, the boilers, and the VFD drive that relates to the scope of the project. There has to be an energy savings with this project because it is under a guaranteed energy savings agreement. They act as the general contractor. Brian and I have met with them and gone through all of the various bids for the project. We are recommending proceeding with all 3 phases of the project at a cost of $929,152. When you enter into this type of a project, if the scope of the work would change, we could be presented with a change order. However, if there is any issue related to the chiller, the boiler, the VFD pump replacement that they did not vet properly, that is not outside the scope of this work, Performance Services is on the hook for any additional cost. This, as we indicated in the fall, this is our first opportunity to test drive one of these. They've been very successful at many other school corporations, and Performance Services has the corner on the market pretty much in Indiana, so.
Thank you very much. Okay, are there any other questions, concerns?
Jane, if I'm reading that right, that's a 10% savings when you put the operational energy savings together. Is that an estimate? Is that 20,000 on one and 7,000 on the other one? It's on the improvement list page, the very last page.
Oh,
I was just looking at, the two numbers were
yes,
92,000. so
it is
that's
92,000,
a
and the
10%.
estimated payback period is 10 years.
Right.
Brian believes with the efficiency of this equipment, the payback will be shorter than that. But they're gonna stretch it out, you know, as long as allowed. So that's why it's 10 years.
So you see that
I thought you said
savings.
7 years, that's why,
No.
or 7,000. That's why I was a little confused, because I'm going, no, I think it's 70,000.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just misheard.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, additionally, I'm asking approval for you to, if you approve all 3 phases of the project, authorize signing of the documents. They have now been vetted by our attorney, and she's fine with them, so we will be able to get going tomorrow and getting some equipment ordered, so we're ready to go when summer gets here.
Did I understand you, that if they get into the project and there's a need for change from what's projected going into it, that they're going to be responsible for that change?
If it is specifically related to the scope of the project, that's correct. If it's outside of the scope of the project and we want to do an add-on for something, then it would be on us. But yes, this isn't like a traditional
No, it's not.
project
Yeah.
where, you know, we would be on the hook for all of the change orders if they get in there and they find, you know, asbestos or something like that. This is all on them. So, yes, under this, it's supposed to be a turnkey approach.
Sounds good to me.
Me too.
They better do their homework.
You do a good job.
And it saves us money. Okay,
Yeah,
is there
and
anything else?
they did seek quotes from local vendors. Obviously, we don't have any local vendors that do the boilers or the chillers, but some of the electrical work, Layton, I believe, is gonna be awarded as a contractor under that. So we did, and they reached out to Element also for a quote. We provided them some names of vendors who we'd had good working relationships with. So some of it will be done locally, but again, there's no boiler or chiller suppliers that, for this large of a project in town.
Well, thank you, Brian and Jamie.
Okay, we are ready for a motion for the recommendation of guaranteed energy savings contract with Performance Services.
For all 3 projects, right?
That would be our preferred standard.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
all right, thank you, Mark. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion items, wellness initiative, Mr. Collins.
Thank you, and I want to introduce Miss Kelly Flum. Kelly is a teacher for us at Maplewood, and she is also our wellness coordinator for the district, and I think is doing a fabulous job in this first year in that role. So Kelly, I'm going to turn it over to you to, I know she has a couple of fun things planned for us, so be warned.
Well, thank you for letting me speak tonight. This year, our committee has focused on implementing physical activity, sound nutrition, and mindfulness activities to all students and staff in Fayette County. Our committee has been really involved with the community this year. We're working with the Community Health Capital Committee on Every Kid Healthy Week activities in April. Parks Department is also working with us on that. Community gardens are also up and running and have a grant for more to happen. Our goals this year, nutrition, and trying to implement that for staff and students. We had someone come in the fall and speak to staff members about Nutrition 101, Back to Basics. We've had the same nutritionist come speak to student athletes at the middle school and high school levels just on sound nutrition as they're playing sports. Chartwells has been great in working with us on providing those healthy snacks at staff meetings for students, for teachers, committees all across the board. Physical activity, Maplewood is piloting Go Noodle Plus. Go Noodle is a website that all elementaries are using for brain breaks or indoor recess in the winter. Maplewood had the opportunity to pilot the Plus, and that's connected to the academic standards so they can get up and move and play games that go along with science, social studies, and those connectors. I did get a report today that Maplewood is using it above the state average in active minutes for students. So the state average was about 12,000 active minutes a month for the schools who are piloting, and Maplewood had 18,600. So our students are definitely up moving during transition periods and indoor recess these cold winter days. Mindfulness, all the school counselors are using yoga and growth mindset activities in the classrooms all the way from kindergarten through high school. Staff members are attending yoga, doing it together after school, and having those opportunities for those classes. Other activities are listed in the packet that I've passed out for all the schools across the corporation, as well as the administration building and the career center. A couple of upcoming exciting opportunities. We have started an elementary cross-country team. This week kicked off the first round of practices, and we've had a lot of positive feedback from the students, parents, community members. We had a call-out meeting. Over 50 families came and asked questions, and each elementary school has between 20 and 25 students signed up to run. They will be competing on April 7th at the Fayette 5K community race. We have shortened the course, so they will be doing a 3K, which is the official cross-country race for that age. Hospital is working with us on that and the setup and everything. Also, we have a Biggest Loser Corporation Challenge coming up later that we're going to announce. We partnered with Anytime Fitness, and they are going to fund our prizes. So the first prize would be a 48-day challenge, and that values at about $3,000. Second prize will be a 21-day challenge, and third prize will be a month membership. This will be an anonymous format, so we've ordered the fat monitors to pass around to each of the schools so people can track their loss, but enter it anonymously into a Google spreadsheet that will be tracking everything. So no one will know. At this time, I would invite everybody to stand up with me. You can turn and face
She has a fat monitor. She has a fat monitor.
They're in my office, you want one?
I let students vote on which Go Noodle dance we were going to do, so this is what was chosen for you.
This is a
This is on television, that's right. Coordination, uh-oh.
Greetings, my friends. It is I, Maximo. And today I'm feeling like, oh, how do you say? A chicken.
Oh,
So let's do the pollo dance. Hit it.
You really know how to do it.
All right.
Hey. Shake.
I didn't take pictures of this. I know.
it's on tape.
Do your best chicken is best.
Oh. Everybody knows the chicken dance.
Grab it, Parker. Turn around and
Bob, this won't be on the front page tomorrow.
Yes, you are. Hey.
Oh.
Saved by the
It's the only dance I know how to do.
So,
We're
again,
on TV, so
Go Noodle is something that all elementary schools use for indoor recess and brain breaks and transition periods. There are academic ones that are connected to the standards with games that children can play to review facts and things they're studying in their classroom. But thank you again for letting me speak, and we will try our best to keep our corporation healthy.
Thank you, Kelly.
Oh, dear.
she will be back next month for another one of those.
I've embarrassed my own children and my grandchildren at school dances doing the chicken dance, and now I do it on TV. Oh, well.
Yeah, one other thing, Kelly did bring some salads too, if you want to pick up one afterwards too. And really nice salads working with Chartwell, so be sure to grab one of those after.
Take one home and have it for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Okay, is there any public comments tonight? See anything? Okay, ready for report items, superintendent's discussion group reports. None. Principals, directors reports. Director of Human Resources, Mr. Serqua.
Just like to comment in the consent agenda, we accepted resignations and retirements. I would like to emphasize the retirements that we accepted. We have 7 people that are retiring from the corporation, 2 administrators, Laura Boggs and Jan Dunham, and then certified staff, Brenda Coleman, Becky Hargrove, Vicki Long, Nancy Red, and David Short have put in well over 200 years of experience to the Fayette County School Corporation, and we very much appreciate them.
Yes, we do. Yes, they will be missed, that's for sure. Okay. Director of Finance report, Mrs.
Thank
Collett.
you. I just want to thank the board for their support for the bond issue and keeping our capital projects at the maximum that we can levy to work to keep our buildings in the best possible condition. I know these projects will amount to a significant amount of money, but they make sure that we are maintaining our facilities as we go instead of trying to fix things on the end and not having the resources to do it. So I appreciate your support and commitment to that process.
Okay, thank you. Assistant Superintendent's report, Mrs. Casaro.
Thank you, Lori. Just want to update the board that February 19th will be our first or our second additional PD day for Fayette County. All our schools will be working on a couple of our corporate district initiatives such as Marzano's framework and spiraling of our curriculum prior to ISTEP. Most of us are through our curriculum maps. Now we're going to go back and spiral and make sure that our students are prepared. And then in the afternoon, buildings will be working on some of their individual building needs as well. So that's February 19th. Also want to compliment the elementary principals for the math bowl that took place on January 29th. It was very difficult as I was sitting there. I'm not sure I could have competed very well. And I believe they go on, is it next week they go on to the regional, and that's in Rushville. So wish them good luck. But kudos to the teachers that take their time to spend time with the kids, and the kids that came out, they were very excited, and I look forward to seeing them compete next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent's report,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Collins.
The board approved the Hall of Fame selection committee, and we have several nominees already submitted, and those can be submitted until March 1st, so I wanted to make everyone aware of that. If anyone has Fayette County school teacher who met that criteria. We're going to be meeting calendar committee next Monday, so looking ahead to 2019-20 calendar, that's hard to believe, and also looking at 2018-19, we may need to tweak that a little. As a reminder, we've used our snow makeup days, so we've used both of the build-in days, and then we've added 2 days on to the end of the school year. So right now, our student last day is May 29th, the day after Memorial Day, and I hope that's it. So, we don't know. Last week was National School Counselor Week, and I just wanted to recognize our counselors and social workers. I was in an elementary today, and during lunchtime, the counselor was, had a table set up where kids could write compliments and nice things to kids. And there was a line at the table where kids were acknowledging teachers and other students. And just, they do so much, our counselors and social workers do. And we have a lot of children who come from some difficult situations. And I just want to commend that whole group in our district. And I know as a former principal, I relied so much on my counselor to be there, and they do so many things to support our students and their learning and social and emotional well-being. So, and finally, we're wrapping up winter sports here in the next week or two, and I want to recognize those students who moved on in wrestling. We had students represent us last weekend, and I just want to thank all of our coaches and extracurricular sponsors. Music, sports, there's so much time committed to our kids, and I don't know if everybody realizes how much time is spent investing in the lives of kids. So I just wanted to recognize that group and all that they do to impact our kids.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Collins. Okay, for the good of the cause, does anyone have anything they'd like to share?
A week from Thursday, February 22nd at 5:30 in the Spartan Bowl. It is the 7th annual Guys versus Gals Challenge. It's a whole lot of fun, and I don't really know what the theme is this year, but I just ordered a t-shirt today that I'm sure that will embarrass me, but that's nothing new. Our kids about 7 years ago saw a need in the town with food insecurity. And last year, it started in the arena, very small, and now it's become huge. And you get in for free. It's a free will donation. All the money stays here in Fayette County. It goes to the Community Sharing Foundation, the CHS Food Pantry, or something that they're doing at the middle school. Last year, we raised over $2,000 for that all stayed in the county, and it's just a whole lot of fun. The teachers get involved, the kids get involved, we have the band involved, the cheerleaders. We're trying to twist Sandy Snedeker-Toshlog's arm a little bit to see if she'll do the guy-girl dance again like she did last year. Everybody has a great time. It lasts about an hour and a half, but it's really rewarding to see 13 and 14-year-olds coming together for a cause for the community. They get a bad rap sometimes, but it's an awful lot of fun for everybody. So please come and join us in the Spartan Bowl at 5:30 on February 22nd. Bring your money or a canned good, and I'm going to guarantee you'll have a really good time. Mr. Luby, who is 6'14" and is rather large, is notable for his tutu wearing, which kind of makes it worth the trip right there. And we all have a really, really good time.
When is that again, Ann?
That's February 22nd. It's a Thursday night at 5:30. It'll be our 8th grade girls playing our 8th grade boys, and I think this year, I don't know, we're about even, so it should be interesting. I keep score, interestingly, but the kids have a blast with it, and it's so much fun because they get a sense of giving back to the community and really sharing. They're very, very proud of what they do, and everybody just has a really good time doing it. Everybody gets involved, so a lot of fun, free, 5:30 at the Spartan Bowl on February 22nd.
Great, thank you, Ann. Anyone else?
Just like to recognize the fan base. We've had 2 road games this week, and we went down to East Central. Scott knows, he was there, but we had more fans than their fans. They're the home team, and then again last night we had more fans than New Palestine. So our community really, they steps up. Of course, we've got a winning team, but they're great at supporting our kids, the whole community. And to go on the road and to have more than the other team is great for our kids.
Right, yes. Thank you, Mark. Anything else? Okay, we're ready for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Warren. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mark. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. Thank you, meeting adjourned.